was at the Free Times, and I saw him pretty often. And every time I played that song, it was maybe in spaces of 3 or 4 months that he'd hear me play it. And every single time he heard it, and he said this to me like 3 or 4 times, said, Isaac, you should put like a bridge in that song. But every time he said it, it was like, he hadn't remembered, he told me, maybe. But like he kept telling me, Isaac, so it made me think like every single time he heard this song, it was like he was hearing it separately. And he was separately thinking to himself, this song needs a bridge, Isaac. So I thought, okay, maybe it needs a bridge, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, I don't care.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Oh shit, wait, I need to find a lighter before we start. I'll be back in a second. Okay. My name is Isaak Bonk. I'm a folk singer. 22 now. I write my own songs and sing other people's songs and busk and play shows. I started performing much too early in my music career. I wasn't very good. I thought I was quite good, but I wasn't very good. So I had this false sense of confidence going out, which I think, looking back, was probably a good thing because it got me out and doing it.
So what's it like when you're busking outside in the cold?
Now that I have my GTC license, I don't have to, but last year I did, and your hands start to freeze and it's awful. But you get pity bills. Like, you'll get a $10 bill even though no one listened to you play just because you're out in the cold playing like an idiot. So sometimes I'll stay out an hour and make $100. Sometimes I'll stay out 3 hours and make $100. Sometimes you really can't. And it's demoralizing how little money you're making. Then someone gets you with a 15 drop and you're like, oh, right, at least not for nothing.
When I left university, I wanted to, but I also wasn't the most studious. What I was doing there, I wasn't passionate about.
Fall asleep or something?
Maybe the end of my first year in university, I discovered folk music and really fell down the rabbit hole of it, as you do. And I heard Bob Dylan's It's All Right, Ma, I'm Only Bleeding. And from then on, I sort of just didn't stop listening to it, and that was all I could listen to. I used to romanticize living in the 60s, where all the folk musicians got to do their thing. And after playing for quite a while and playing bars and playing for people and writing my own music, I don't want to say the romance has died, because if it had, I wouldn't do it anymore. I still love to do it, but playing music has become more realistic and practical in a lot of ways, rather than romantic.
It's 9-pound hammers, a little too heavy, buddy, for my size, buddy, for my size. So roll on, buddy, pull a load of coal, egg and arrow, when the wheels don't go.
Yeah, I had to audition.
Roll on, buddy, pull a load of coal.
It was online.
Egg and arrow, oh, wheels don't go.
I don't have any CDs out yet, no, unfortunately. CDs cost money. Gotta make some more.
Pull a load of coal, egg and arrow, when the wheels don't go. You roll on, buddy.
They just did the last audition The next round of auditions is in 3 years. They do it every 3 years. It's a long way to Holland, a long way to Hazard. How's it going, Stu? Good to see you. Yeah.
My name is Glenna Bonk, and I'm mother of Isaak Bonk. Like any parent, I tried to see what he was interested in by having him join a whole bunch of things. He did do ballet, or at least he tried ballet. He tried art and music really was the one that stuck. He hated dance, which is kind of what I'm into. In fact, I teach dance.
I'm Isaac. Yes, I am. And I'm just gonna get started, I guess.
If you're gonna be an artist, I think you have to resign yourself to the fact that you're gonna be very poor. And just scrape by.
I'll wave from your window, invite me up staircase, paintings from the gallery wall. Yeah, wait on your carpet, all crooked and spun round as I walk my way through the hall. And treat me as David before all his glory, as you treat yourself to the town. But your spine's grown lazy.
I think he's going to live at home for a little while, and that's fine. I mean, you know, parents, we want our kids to be happy, and that's a stock answer, but it's true. And he'll need a lot of support for sure. He'll need support. Any artist does. And if he doesn't get it, I don't know. I don't know what he can fall back on because he really hasn't planned for that, and it worries me. I have a little bit of faith that. More than a little bit of faith that everything will turn out. He's had a blessed life. You know, I just hope he can find his way.
By moonlight, but never of anything more. So sit gently thinking of newspaper headlines while silence waits by the door. And take from your bed sheets what they got to give you, scattered all through the room. As the lines on your canvas break quicker than sundown in the light.
As soon as I come in, I see all this art. There's a lot of this art.
Almost all of it, I'd say, is his father's. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was his name?
Conrad Bonk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Isaac's dad, Conrad, died when Isaac was not even 1.5, of cancer, brain cancer, and. You know, it was pretty rough on me and Isaac too, because he was our only child, and so it was just he and I, not much to bounce off of, no siblings to sort of, I don't know, gang up on me about, and only one parent to play off. So it's been a little bit tough, you know.
So are they similar at all?
Yes. Yeah. He's stubborn. Isaac's stubborn. His father was stubborn, and really committed. Like he goes in. He just gets into the space where nothing can distract him from what he wants to do. And I mean that's an artistic thing, I think.
You started smoking again.
I started smoking again.
Have you tried to quit before?
Yeah, I tried to quit in our last interview. I was trying to quit then. I was super hungover then as well. Terrible. But yeah, I tried to quit smoking for a month and a half. Didn't work out. I did the Nicorette gum. I did the vape. Just doesn't cut it, man. Because the thing is, like, if I were to quit music, I could keep writing. And if I were to quit writing, I could still play music. But if I were to quit smoking, there's nothing else.
Right.
I used to want to write about grand ideas and, you know, big issues and stuff. But I've come to a place where I want to write about the things I know. So that's what I've chosen to do.
I have
written about my family and my situation in particular.
What do you mean, your situation?
Well, just the life that I have, you know. My family is a small one, so when I write about it, it's always personal. But I don't know. I don't know. I've written about, not about my father, but to my father. You know, like letters if he could read them and stuff. I've written stuff like that. I mean, I got to know him through abstract art, you know, which is a strange way to get to know your father.
The daughters are biding their time.
I don't know. It's a strange thing because it's all around me, but it's not in front of me. For many years, I was sort of infatuated by the romance of Conrad Bonk, you know, the artist and abstract painter and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But it's not like that. I mean, he was just a guy, really, and that's about it. He loved, and I've loved, and he died, and I'll die, you know? There you go. It wasn't very much at all when you thought again of me, when the curtains rose and the lights went dim, and the message came for free. It wasn't like some bitter tongue or how it used to be. There was no victim's grand parade or youthful heresy. There was no voice to speak a word, waiting in the street. But by the hallway's lock and cage I could only count to 3, and on my mind the flower thorns, only one of misery. Though none of them would grow to bloom, they're waiting in the street. And now that all the candles burn low and separately, I cannot help myself from thinking in rhyme and symphony. The new and old have been gone a while, there is no sacred need. The humdrum drone is silent still, there is no cause to flee. It's hardly worth remembering now, waiting in the street. The labored tone went back and forth, though not for them to see. The bows and ribbons neatly tied my borrowed vanity. Yet here I am, of broken stone and sculpted fantasy. It wasn't very much at all when you thought again of me. It's broken down, it's far away, it's waiting in the street.
And usually, like, he's sort of getting up as I'm finishing my day. So I come home and there's music playing, and it's kind of nice.
Enough already, huh?
Good one, sweetie.
Do you get closer with your mom because it's just the two of you?
Of course. My mom and I are best friends. And I wouldn't put it any other way. Sort of had to be, you know?
Yeah.
If I were a painter, I'd paint you pretty roses upon my canvas, them wild flowers blooming. I'd paint you lilies